same thing. Where? Where?
Hold on.
Let's have a look. Let's see what it is. It doesn't say. Oh! Get away from the window! Dad, get away from the window!
Es que te estoy enfocando a las boobies. Ah, no mames.
¿Qué?
Pasó algo.
¿Qué pasó? No mames.
A ver, ven. No mames, pasó algo, te lo juro que pasó algo,
Se mueve, ya se mueve.
Vete a la verga.
Yo no voy.
No mames.
Disclaimer, some of my videos have been known to prevent people from sleeping at night. I strongly recommend you do not watch any further if you scare easily, as this series won't be any lighter. You have been warned. A while back I did a video on Facebook user and Mexican piñata shop owner Mario Lara. As normal, as I always keep up on the stories I do for any further updates, and this one is one of the few that actually made me feel a bit uneasy. In my previous coverage of Mario, it all started with a notification on his brand new camera system and he installed on his piñata shop. The things he captured sent chills down everyone's spine. However, that story pretty much stopped when Mario vowed to not look at his notifications anymore, and his Facebook updates came to a halt. Whatever entity Mario captured, it seemed to be attached to one specific piñata. On November 10th, Mario posted to his Facebook the following, and it translates like this. On August 30th, Moana, which is the name of the piñata, was displayed for sale in the store, but she never sold. A few days ago, I decided to take the piñata to a so-called specialist for investigation, and ever since, the activity has only increased. This person has deleted me and blocked me from Facebook, and he is no longer answering my phone calls. I would like to get the piñata back, as before he took it, the activity was not this heavy. Mario's activity only escalates from this point, and he decides to get a replica of the piñata manufactured in hopes that the activity will die down. A few days later, the piñata finally arrives and Mario puts it to the test. What happened next is frightening.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Top 3 most painful torture methods. Number 3. The brazen bull. A hollowed out bronze bull with a door on its side. The victim was locked inside and a fire was set underneath it, heating the metal until the victim was roasted from the inside. The bull was constructed in a way that the victim's scream would sound like a bull was crying for help. Number 2. Disruption dismemberment. Each of the victim's arms and legs were tied to a horse, walking opposite ways, slow at first, then quickly, tearing at the joints, leaving the victim to bleed out. Number 1. The tub. The victim is placed in a wooden barrel with only his head sticking out. Their face was smothered with a mix of milk and honey. They were then forced to eat what was left on their face, giving them bad diarrhea. In turn, that would attract maggots that would eat their bottom half slowly from their infected wounds. This has been known as one of the most painful and long torture methods.
Scary truth about Santa Claus. I do this all in one part, so make sure you double tap this video. This mom told her kid to stay in bed. It was Christmas Eve. The boy didn't listen. He really wanted to see Santa Claus. It said that Santa Claus actually kidnapped the kid for not listening to his mom. To this day, nobody knows where he is.
Scary Things Kids Say Part 51. My 4-year-old niece once asked me, "Do you know why babies can't talk?" I answered, "Because they haven't learned yet." She said, "No, because they still know too much." Like, what? One night, I heard my little sister crying in her sleep. She was 5 at the time. When I walked in and sat on her bed, she immediately stopped crying, sat in her bed, opened her eyes, and screamed, then fell back on her bed and slept. She remembers nothing. I was on a bus recently and we stopped outside a walking clinic. A little girl in the seat in front of me turned to her dad and said, "Death is the poor man's doctor." And that was that.
Located in a cemetery in Vermont, there is a grave with a window to peek inside. This grave belonged to a man named Timothy Clark Smith. Timothy had a fear of being buried alive. This may seem like an irrational fear, but it was actually more common than people realize. Timothy patented a design for his own gravesite. Not only did he include a window on his tombstone, he also built a contraption that included a bell. In the case that Timothy woke up underneath the ground, he could pull a string and ring the bell to signal for help. Timothy passed away on Halloween in 1893, and he never needed to use the bell. The window to his grave is still there, although the visibility to see inside of it is very low after the years. But I can't imagine being a gravekeeper, hearing a bell ringing in the middle of the night, knowing that you are the only one there.
This is the creepy story about the stare. A girl was on a subway late at night when she noticed a woman staring at her intensely. The woman was sitting between 2 old men. The girl kept looking away, but the woman staring never broke eye contact. It started to freak the girl out. At the next stop, a tall man in a trench coat boarded. He sat down right next to the girl. The woman who was staring paid no attention to the man who just boarded and just kept staring at the girl. Now this really creeped out the girl. The 2 men that the woman was sitting between never once looked in her direction. The girl then pretended not to notice, but each time she looked, the woman was still staring at her. At the next stop, the man in the trench coat got up to leave when suddenly he grabbed the girl's arm and dragged her out of the subway. The doors shut and the subway took off. The girl then started screaming for help, but then the man said, "Calm down. I just saved your life. I didn't mean to scare you, but I had to get you off that subway." The woman that was staring at you was dead, and the 2 men beside her were holding her up.
So I saw this thing that a lot of people were doing on TikTok called rando nodding. It's an app that you download, and it gives you a completely random location close to you that you go to, and apparently it's supposed to be a glitch in the simulation or something like that. I don't really know if I believe it or not, so I downloaded the app and I thought I'd try it out for myself. It gave me a spot in the middle of the woods that's kind of close to my house, but it looks like it's along ATV trails, so we're on the ATV and let's go see where it takes us. Alright, so we're at the location, and this is weird. There's a car just chilling in the woods. How did they even get in here though? Like, there's trees everywhere. There's no way a car could get in here. This car looks super old. What the fuck was that? Holy shit.
Oh, she wildin' up. What the fuck is she doing? She wildin' up. What the fuck is she doing?
What the fuck? Hey, bitch! The fuck wrong with you?
Scariest movies you wouldn't be able to sit through part 4. Whatever you do, don't watch The Taking of Deborah Logan by yourself. It's about a college student who makes her thesis on Alzheimer's disease about a lady named Deborah Logan. She records Deborah every day to see how the disease progresses, but soon it becomes apparent that something has taken control of her. Goodnight Mommy is about twin boys who welcome their mom back after facial reconstruction surgery. But she's different now. She has bandages all over her face and has a complete different personality. The Witch isn't filled with jump scares, but it's very unsettling. In 1630 New England, the family panics after their baby boy vanishes. The family blames the oldest daughter and suspects her of witchcraft.
This is the scariest story about the headache. There was a 10-year-old girl with braids. The girl has been wearing her braids in a ponytail for the longest time, and they were very old, at least 2 to 3 months old. The girl had been complaining to her mother about having a headache for the past 2 weeks. Her mother brushed it off, assuming that the girl just bumped her head or something. One morning while the girl was getting ready for school, she again began to complain about the headache to her mother. Again, her mother brushed it off and sent her to school. At school, the girl told the teacher that her head was hurting. The teacher assumed that the braids were too tight in the girl's hair, and she attempted to let the ponytail down. When she let the braids loose, the teacher saw a spider in the girl's hair. The spider had laid eggs in the girl's hair, and the spiders were eating her scalp. The girl was then rushed to the hospital, where she later died.
You guys asked for it. This is proving that this mirror is actually haunted and it's messing with my son. How the hell did you get over there? How the hell did he get there? I literally just turned the camera around. And then watch what happens.
This is the creepy story about Where Is She? There was a little girl who lived in an apartment building. One day she told her mom she was going to play with her friends. Hours later, the mom went to go get her daughter, but she was nowhere to be found. She then asked all her friends if any of them have seen her daughter. They all said we haven't seen her all day, and then the mom realized her daughter was missing. She then called the police, who conducted a whole search of the building. But sadly, the girl was never found. 3 months went by, and the residents of the complex started to complain about the water. They said it had a very strange odor. More and more people started to complain, saying it smelt bad and tasted horrible. So the janitor went to the roof and checked the water tanks. When he opened the tank, he was hit with a very bad smell. He looked down and saw the decomposing body of a young child. The police came and identified it was the girl who went missing 3 months ago. Her corpse was in there undisturbed for 3 months, and the whole apartment building was drinking the water that had a rotten corpse floating in it. Nobody knows how she got there, and the mother was devastated.